where we talk to content creators, bait makers, and industry insiders. This episode's brought to you by our fine sponsors, Big Al Speed Shine. You can find all their products at BigAlSpeedShine.com. Spray it on, wipe it off, done. Deep gloss, slick finish, big shine. Big Al Speed Shine, slick it up. FCLX. FCLX is a specialized extinguishing agent designed to tackle complex lithium-ion battery fires and conveniently packaged for use in boats, side-by-sides, campers, and homes. Proudly made in the USA, FCLX penetrates the battery during thermal runaway, rapidly cooling the fire and preventing reignition. The FCLX agent interrupts the lithium oxidation process that fuels the fire while neutralizing the harmful gases. Get yours today at FullCircleLithium.com. Now, let's get ready to weigh in.
What's going on, everybody? We are having a little bit of technical difficulties for some reason. We don't know why. We've had Jimmy in here just a second ago, and then it dropped, and we're having trouble figuring out why it won't pull him back up. But, guys, welcome to the show. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We're going to have a good show. We're going to get him in here. I promise we're going to get him in here. We're working through that as we go. What's going on, Tyler, Eddie, John G., Eric? What's going on, guys? Y'all, you know, if you can hear me, make sure you say something in the chat because I want to make sure everything's working good on my end too. For some reason, it just dumped out. I don't know why, what happened with that. So making sure we're getting everybody going on. Guys, you noticed in the intro, we've got a new sponsor. FCLX is now on board as a sponsor of the live well, or skip the live well, the weigh-in. Gosh, see, guys, I'm not even thinking. I'm worried about everything going on. But FCLX is now a new sponsor of the weigh-in, and I'm proud to have them on board. I am also partnered with them as well on the side of everything I'm doing as far as social media goes. So make sure you go to their website, get you a Full Circle Lithium FCLX fire extinguisher for your boat. Good. Thanks, Eric, for letting me know that we're coming through. All right, we got him trying to come back in one more time here. Let's see if we can get him in here. There he is. There's the man. We are live on the weigh-in. I'm all over the place tonight, guys. So
Jimmy,
I appreciate yeah, we got you, man. I appreciate you stopping in the middle of your drive from your state, and now you're in what, Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm in Jackson, Tennessee right now. I'm on my way to Paris. I'm going to be on Kentucky Lake the next 2 days.
Kentucky Lake the next 2 days. Have you been to Kentucky Lake in the past?
I've never been. I've been on the TVA, a couple other lakes, Pickwick, Chickamauga, but never have been to Kentucky. So I'm looking forward to the trip. The weather is not going to be cooperating. I'm parking my truck now. I was driving and trying to find service, but I think we got this thing rolling now.
Yeah, you're good, man.
I'm excited about this trip, but man, we're about to have southwest 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, and anybody that knows the TVA and that lake, like it's going to get nasty. And a lot of the areas I was kind of wanting to go target and check out, it might be not fishable. And when I'm going and jumping in other people's boats to help them get better at using their electronics to catch bass, weather's a problem. But it really, man, is tough when I go to like a lake I'm not as familiar with. Yeah. And then weather's a problem, because like my lake that I do a lot of my lessons on in Hot Springs, like Ouachita, man, it's big, but I can hide, and it's different than these wide open river or like Toledo Bend, Rayburn, where you guys are at. Y'all have some of those big open lakes. So it's just an extra challenge. And like for me, I can stand on the front of the boat and use my live scope still or catch fish. But man, getting someone that's not used to that, I got to get them out of the wind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't do it. Like I told you, I don't do as many of these trips out of state anymore. Most of them, they come to me because of just, I have a wife. I have 3 kids under 4, and I try just to stay home as much as I can. And so anyway, so yeah, like the rest of the month, I'll be back home.
So what made you decide to go out there? What was the deciding factor to make you go out there to this particular, man? That's a pretty good drive for you.
Oh, no, it is. So these guys reached out to me in November, December, and I didn't have any scheduled yet. And so I didn't have any scheduled. People ask, like, hey, what would it cost for you to come here? And I'll now throw a little higher numbers out just because I have a cost sheet for like time traveled, hours drive, and all that stuff. And so these guys asked for 2 days, and I gave it to them, and they jumped on it. And I was like, boom. So I've had a lot of guys from this part of the world, Kentucky Lake wise, want me to like come, but most of them come to me. And so But yeah, so no, it just kind of worked out that way. So last year, 2025, I did 160 trips in the year. I went to Toledo Bend, Grand Lake, Table Rock, um, Broken Bow. I've been Broken Bow this year too, so I do travel a little bit, but most of my
Yeah.
trips are locally.
Have you ever fished Lanier?
Man, I've not, but I'd like to.
Man, you need to get over to Lanier. I know you got a busy week, but man, Tyler said you should have come over to Lanier. They got it's set up. The spotted dogs are set up just for you, and dude, you would. It's a different beast, but it's a good lake, man. It's one of those.
Lanier's cool. I get to study all these lakes, stuff I kind of did before. I did a lot of studying with them and kind of stuff with the lakes. Like I did a lot of behind the scenes with the deep dive app when it was kind of coming about, so I learned a lot about it. But yeah, like Lanier's a lake I love to. Murray's the other one. What isn't it? Murray y'all have over there? That's a good one.
Well, that's up in the Carolinas, but yeah,
Okay, that was
yeah,
more Carolinas.
you got Hartwell, Murray,
Yep.
yeah, Lanier.
Yeah. But no, y'all got some cool lakes. Y'all's part of the world, I will say.
Yeah, man, it's definitely we're blessed to be where we're at with some of the lakes that surround us. I mean, we've got everything from you got Seminole all the way up through North Georgia, Chattooga and places like that are Chattooga's another good one up there that you eventually get to. Eric wanted to know, and I think you answered a little bit ago, is your lesson you're giving going to be live scope focused?
To this trip, it is. Most of my trips now are the forward facing focused, but I still I'll get guys that just want to learn how to catch fish off the bank with other techniques, strategies. But I'm going to say in the last 3 years, I bet 99% of my bass I've caught has been with a live scope. And it might not be exactly watching them eat my lure, but
right.
We're using it to do it. And I don't get many even on my lakes, I don't get many guide trips to where like if I get somebody that wants to go throw a Cinco in bushes, I'm not your guy. I'm not going to do that.
So you're not throwing the wacky rig?
I'm like not anymore. I did that. See, here's what's funny. I tell people hey, I love catching fish that way, but I did that for 18, 19 years of my life, whatever it is. And so I'm still fascinated with the forward facing, learning the fish. And I've always been an offshore guy. The spawn I struggled with growing up. I didn't have really anybody teach me how to sight fish. I thought it was wrong to catch a fish on a bed personally. Now I get it for tournaments, you have to. And what's funny is I thought it was wrong to look at a fish, throw at it 30 times, catch it. But now I'm watching them in open water. I'm watching them on these structure spots. So it's kind of but I'm not throwing at them 30 times. So, but prior to forward facing, I still was trying to catch them off the bank during the spawn because I just thought it was so much harder to do. And I loved it when I got on it, man. I just, it was just always intriguing. And now at live scope, it's kind of opened up the doors. So, and so a lot of my trips, that's what this time of year is hard. March and April on my lakes, the fish are so spread out.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like summer, winter, fall, because I can find groups. I know how to find them. I know how to catch them. And this time of year, you really don't know what you're going to get. You don't know until you get on the lake. And it's all about adapting and kind of going with it.
So you're going to Kentucky Lake. Obviously, you're going on a paid trip where somebody's paying you to go. How much and how deep did your research go before you got to go on that? I mean, how much time did you spend researching for this particular trip?
It took some time, and it took some time. I didn't want to try to go too far out. It was more of the last week, kind of week, 2 weeks. And my research involved, trying to find tournaments around that time period. And it might not even have been of one with live scope. It could have been an old tournament. So just trying to find out the areas, because that lake's so massive, you can't break the whole thing. And I knew where we're out of. And then the last 2-3 days, the weathers came up. So now I'm changing. I got a couple guys I can call and get ideas from. But no, that took some time for sure. But I loved last year, talking about tournaments, the MLF BPT, they went there last year. I watched almost every second that tournament I could watch. And part of the reason was I wanted to watch those dudes catch them fish on them ledges without live scope. Because when Brent Ayler went off with the hair jig, I loved it. Because I grew up throwing a hair jig just like that. Not on Kentucky Lake, but on my lowland reservoirs. and I just enjoyed it. And dude, like that
Right.
tournament was so fun to watch. They weren't catching massive bags. Like if that was a 5 fish derby, it would have been different. But they were catching all them 2 and 3 pounders but no, man, like I try to do research, of course, on when I travel.
I got you. And we got some questions coming in, but I want to ask you another question before that. So what kind of caveat do you tell the gentleman that paid for the trip? What do you say up front and say, look, do you kind of give the look, there's nothing guaranteed, or we're going to spend the first X number of hours riding this lake until we figure something out? I mean, how do you prep the customer for that trip, knowing that you don't fish there every day?
Yeah. So, I mean, like I told him right off the bat, hey, you're not paying for a catching trip. And he's like, no, I've already done that. He goes, I have gotten in the boat with a guy and we've caught fish. He goes, but I seen you on YouTube. You seem to have a teach and a knack. I want to get in the boat with you. I want you to teach me and go through the process of finding fish. I want you to go through my setting stuff. I want you to watch you throw and how you work the lures. And like even tomorrow, part of my trip tomorrow, we're doing crappie, which I do not do most of. Most of my stuff's bass, but if this is a guy that wants to do bass and crappie, so we're going to be doing some crappie stuff too. I always warn them that, hey, I'm in your boat. Your equipment's different than mine. It might take a little time to get used to. But I've been in so many boats with so many equipment. It's crazy. Like my first trip this year, January 2nd, I had a gentleman come down from Chicago, Illinois to come to Ouachita, and he brought his grandson and his friend, 17, 18 years old. It was a walleye boat with a Tarova trolling motor, Garmin live scope on a stick, and a 16-inch screen. And we that day caught 55 bass. And now those were ditch fish. They were on the bottom. Thankfully, I found some fish that day, not in timber. But like, let's say you come to me and you want a lesson. I tell you up front, hey, I'm going to take you to where I know some fish at. But the other half of the day, we're going to go try to find new fish. And what that does is go through the process of failure, success. And like what it's done for me is I've learned my lakes pretty darn well, because half my day I'm trying to find new fish and I'm going through the process, and the other half I might know where they're at. But as I've learned, fish move a lot more certain times a year than we ever thought. Like it's crazy, and it makes sense. Prior to scope, when I went to this point and threw a football jig in 60 foot in timber, when they ate it, and then when they don't, like they do now, like, it's just how they move. So I try to prep them and go through that. But like I tell people, these are not catching trips. But when you come to me, we're going to catch some fish, because I like to catch fish.
Well, I mean, you actually just gave a lesson right there, because we've got some guys. Tyler Shelnut Fishing that's in the comments. They think about doing guiding trips and stuff, and I've considered it and stuff. But you actually just taught a lesson right there for a lot of us that are watching, because you said some things there like, your guide trips are not just about catching; they're teaching, and that's a huge thing about whether you're doing content or whether you're doing whatever. Is you're actually teaching somebody, not just going, hey, I'm going to take your money. You're going to catch 10, 15 fish, and you're going to have I went with that guide. So that almost makes you more of a marketable guide, because it's not just going out there and going, I set the hook on 10 fish that I probably could have caught by myself. You're actually teaching them on the water. I think that says a lot right there for me.
And like with it, like, and this, what's tough with it is, let's say I get somebody in March right now. And like last week, for example, I had 4 trips with 2 different guys. They traveled down. They got 2 days, and they want to learn. Like their goal was, I want to catch fish with this jig head minnow. Like that was their goal. So it's March. My water's 63 in some parts of the lake. It's 54. I gotta find jig head minnow fish. Yeah. And like the one dude can catch them on beds. Like he's like, hey, I'm a dang bed fisherman. I'm like, sweet. But what that dude saw was the process of finding pre-spawn fish super shallow on bait. And like, you're not finding this bait with side or down imaging. But then during my trip, I'm showing him, hey, you see that point over there? Yeah. I'm like, hey, they're going to be there in July. Like these fish are here in this creek. They're going to spawn right there. I've watched them travel. But if you were with me in July, we'd be catching them out there in 30 foot of water. And so I try to teach people like it's different. And I say different, like, it's crazy, and they set up different on lakes. Like Ouachita, for instance, has a lot of stripers. Well, stripers eat largemouth. Stripers are the lines, and my fish in the timber will get in the timber, and they won't leave the timber. But when the fall comes, something wakes them up, and they're like, "Hey, let's start running around in creeks," and they start going everywhere.
It's like they lose their minds.
Yeah, so I try to teach all this on my lakes that like, hey, this is what's going on. It's not just like, when you fish with me in January and we're catching fish in a ditch in 50 foot with a jig head minnow and a spoon, like, hey, I'm not doing that in May. Like they're going to be on that ridge and I'm going to go throw a flutter spoon or a hair jig. So I try to do a lot of teaching with it, of course.
Man, like I said, you're teaching stuff right here, right? I'm already thinking of other things, but Tyler did say earlier. Hang on, sorry guys. Let me get back out of this. Tyler said, "Man, I feel blind without scope. Even not targeting a singular fish, I can't see the bottom or structure that well without scope." And you obviously doing a lot of scope trips and stuff like that. How much do you dig into using the scope with your other electronics, being down scan, side scan, and 2D? Do you kind of use those to kind of build off of each other, or is it, hey, we're going to use forward facing and get you where you need to be with that?
So depending if what my people ask, and I've learned from being so much on the water the last 3 years, like I think I'm pretty good at side and down imaging. I'm not Kevin Van Dam good or Jacob Wheeler good or Jake Lawrence, but that depends on where you live at. Like for example, the Highland reservoirs, I will have fish in May through the summer sit in schools of 20 to 100 in trees, and they're 10, 15 foot down. If you get a boat near them, they break up. And it makes sense why back in the day when I didn't have live scope, why we couldn't find them like they do on the TVA. The TVA and lowland reservoirs, like a fork, they're on the bottom. And you can idle over them. They might break up a little bit, but you can see them better. So I use all that, but I use it depending on the lake. And so like I said, I feel like I'm pretty good with it, but also as a teacher, coach, I can teach somebody how to use live scope a lot more efficiently and better than the side imaging, down imaging 2D. I think that's so hard to like really master. And for me, like, I don't want to sit in my boat for an hour. Like I want to get up and fish. And so I learned in 2022 when I started doing content for Fish the Moment. I was behind the scenes, like trying to figure scope out. I was like, dude, I could put my trolling motor on 80, run this creek. And cause I say 80, a 4-Trex, everybody. I'm not talking like 1 through 10 like the old Trex. Like I can have this thing on 80, run this creek, and I can get a live image. Why would I want to sit down in that chair on my butt? I can stand up. And then going back to like not using the scope, there's still some times this year in the winter. I had 4-hour trips, a few, and it's all like live scope. I'm done. I get in my boat. I go right back out there. I turn that dude off and see if I can still catch him on a trap or jerk bait without live scope. After I catch 1 or 2 fish, I'm like, I got it. I'm turning my scope back on. So,
got you.
But
just kind of challenge yourself a little bit there.
Yeah. But like Fork, I'll tell you, like a place like Lake Fork, man, like I've been there with scope and have caught them. But my better trips were when I didn't have that thing on my boat, because I was finding them with the side and down imaging. I was doing traditional kind of fishing. And I think like scope has messed me up at Fork, and I've caught giants with it. Like I've gone, but I look back and I'm like, dang, like I caught some dang big fish without that thing there. So,
do you feel like it's more rewarding to catch it without scope? And I don't mean this as an anti-forward. Please don't nobody take it that way. I'm sure we'll have somebody, but do you feel it's a little more rewarding using the other electronics to find fish? Because I over the last 2 years, I have forced myself. I'm going to learn how to use my behind the steering wheel electronics. I took it off of Johnny. I mean, I watched all his stuff. I'm going to learn this stuff, right? And I'm going to learn how to use it from behind the seat to eliminate water. And when I find them, I feel like, man, that's awesome. But I still turn my scope on too. So do you feel like it's more rewarding catching fish with using the other electronics?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. But with that too, because me and Johnny talk about it every other day. We still do. Like I said, I was working for him. He got me in this world. We were friends growing up, fishing partners. We were catching fish off the bank in like 2008, 9, 10, school. And but like he's been doing that without it. He's always like challenging me. He wants me.
We kind of lost him there for a second here. I don't know if he can hear us or not. We kind of lost you, Jimmy. We have to reposition. He used up all the internet in Jackson, Tennessee, probably, unfortunately. So we'll get him back here in a minute, guys. Hopefully he'll pop back in. We'll work on getting that. So obviously, he's got a lot going on with what he's doing. So we'll drop him out, see if we can get him working back on. Yep, his internet's down for some reason. And we were going good there for a second. So, guys, we will get to your questions for sure. I was kind of building up to some of y'all's questions. I had one queued up right there. But I don't know. For me, I kind of feel like it, it's kind of one of those, I don't know. I feel a little more rewarding catching them with 2D and the down scan and the side scan, stuff like that. And hopefully it'll be, I don't know, like that. See, we got a whole bunch. And Patricia Leanne Shaw, did y'all see Wheeler? Yeah, I saw the Wheeler. I heard about it. I guess he had it. He left the forward facing on for too long or over the time or whatever it was. But I think somebody else done it too. So, all right, we got him back, y'all. All right, he's back. He's back.
What happened?
Hey, man, I said you used up all the internet in Jackson, Tennessee. All right. So we're going to start asking some questions so these guys get their questions in case you lose internet again real quick. Eric wants to know, all right, Coach, you're a scope guy. What is your favorite sneaky technique when the fish get minnow shy? As the scope gets more popular, we're all branching out. So what's your favorite?
What type of lake are we fishing? Because it's going to depend on the lake.
So I know Eric, he and I fish together. We fish Highland reservoirs, Lanier, Wedowee. They're deep Highland reservoirs.
Yeah. What's y'all's like? So y'all have the what's that dang shad y'all got over there?
They got bluebacks.
Y'all got crappie in those lakes too?
Yes.
It's going to be a flutter spoon. And then you just got to kind of figure out the size of the flutter spoon. So like that was my first live scope bait that I realized how it differently with live scope. And that was like in 2023 when I figured it out. And I was throwing it a lot and I was doing the minnow, but my lakes I was fishing, they didn't really eat the minnows well. Then when I moved to Ouachita in late 2023, the minnow was just stupid. And I was like, what the crap? This is crazy. And I was knew it was going to happen. And that's when February 24 came. Toledo Bend Massacre happened, as I call it, where the minnow came alive. But I was catching them on the flutter spoon even at Ouachita then. And I was fishing at 40 foot down, 30 foot. But I've kind of gotten away from it because it is a very timely bait. You don't get many bites on it. You have days with numbers. But for me, like, if I'm like tournament fishing, I want to throw that dude a lot. But that's kind of my little sneaky deal is, and I'm not always jacking it. If y'all watch my channel, you kind of might see how I fish it. I fish it like a hair jig, mainly. And I'll swim it above brush piles and stuff. But I think that's one of the baits that like pros in the tournament scene have not like figured it out or went all in. And some have like the dude that won the classic, I just went blank on his name, at Grand Lake. He's been doing it, and it's kind of been out there a little bit, but that's kind of my little sneaky, my kind of sneaky deal, I'd say.
All right. So I'm going to ask this because I have yet to catch a fish on a flutter spoon. I have thrown it and I have had followers, whatever you want to call it. What is something I can implement when I go out with a flutter spoon and I'm on a Highland reservoir? It's deep clear. What can I do to get out there and maybe catch a fish with it? Like,
what flutter spoon you throwing?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I've got them all the way from the 3-inch all the way up to the dang big boy. So
if you're fishing clear water, I learned like a shad pattern one. Like there's some that are painted shad. That's done clear water. That stained glass one, shattered glass is what it's called. I like that in stained water. But if I'm fishing clear water, I want it to be shad color. They don't really seem so when the water's warmer. This is Jimmy's my okay, and I've talked about this, and y'all might have heard Josh Jones. If anybody watches Josh Jones, hear him talk.
Oh yeah.
When the water gets warmer, fish get smarter. They see better. That's my whole deal. I think is they see better. Yeah. I don't think they see good when the water's cold. I just don't. I've used this forward facing a lot. I just don't think they see well. So when the water gets warmer, you have this big hunk of metal. They come up to it and they're like, oh crap, screw that. And they freaking dart away. So you got to have it look as natural as possible. And then next it's playing the cat and mouse game. Like, don't let them have it. Running away like a minnow. So when you're jacking it and they come up, start reeling that thing, pull it away. And then they might come up there and get that thing.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, like I said, I bought some off the shelf chrome ones and I've thrown them everywhere. I'm like, I know they get bit. I'm just trying to figure it out. All right. Kim Pruitt wants to know, what is your setups for electronics front to back on the boat?
Here you go. My personal boat or the boat I'm running right now?
Let's do both if you don't mind sharing.
So my personal boat, I have a 2007 Bass Cat, and I've not used it in a while because I've been in 2 Icons since then. I actually went out and caught my biggest bass of 2025 in my boat. So we sold my Icon. I got my Bass Cat. First trip in, and I catch a 9.8. So the Bass Cat, yeah, I'm still daddy. Anyway,
Yeah.
on my Bass Cat, here you go. And I did a lot of my business in this boat, and I've caught a lot of fish, guys, in this boat. It's a P2. It's not a big boat, but I have a 9-inch Lowrance Elite FS at the dash, $1,000 unit. Up front, I had a Garmin 34 on a Minn Kota Fortrex trolling motor with a 1242. That 1242 Garmin is like my favorite Garmin if you're on a budget. And I like the 8000s for certain scenarios, but I had that 1242 since 2019, and it is bad to the bone. I can tell you on that unit, a 2-pound fish, a 4-pound fish, a 6-pound fish, to where if I get a 126 SV, dude, there's times 50, 60 foot in, a 4-pounder looks like a 1-pounder. So that's one of my big questions. I'm like, how do you determine fish size? I'm like, well, hey, what unit you got? I can maybe help. So that's my personal boat. Now, my boat that I'm running right now, I got an Icon. I'm giving it back in May. It's a client. It's a demo boat, but it's a client of mine that put a deposit on it. I'm running it, and then he's going to get it in May, and I'll get another Icon. It has two 1243s at the dash, Garmin 1243s. They're paired to two 18-inch monitors up front. ICU Marine, it's who I'm partnered with. And then I have two 34 transducers on it. I don't personally need to, but my client wanted to. He's a Texas guy, going to be fishing a lot of lowland reservoir, shallow, flat stuff where that perspective mode's a player.
Right.
And so, but my other Icon, I had a 8610 at the dash and a 22 up front. So hopefully that answers your question there.
Yeah, Ken, he's a Bass Cat guy, so he likes hearing that too. All right, Tyler Shelnut. I was hoping to take a buddy out tomorrow to show him a minnow bite, but I've been out, but I got to go to work, sadly. So he was just saying he's got to go to work, so he's not going to get out and get that minnow bite going. And then he had another follow up with that. He said, honestly, watching your videos has inspired me. I'm going to start my LLC soon and start offering scope folks trips like you do now, that I'm super comfortable and proficient on scope. Yeah. So he's constantly out on the water, and he's just got a college team going, and he's also wanting to guide and stuff like that too. He was talking about, he also commented that he went out yesterday and did fish some of his constant spots he goes to, and then went looking for stuff. We're behind the comments so just a little bit. So Ken, I have another question. Have you and Johnny ever fished a team tournament for fun?
Yeah, it's been years. Like years. Dude, it's been a while. We talked about doing that too. But the problem with me and Johnny is we're two bulls, and I learned in team tournaments, you got to have I'm going to go to this. We're two chiefs. You need a chief in an Indian team tournament scenario. Now, if we come to Washita, like he's going to be the Indian and let me run the show. But I saw that even when we fished tournaments when we were younger, we did pretty good in a few. Hamilton kicked our butt back in the day. We would always fish some Hamilton team tournaments and get our butt kicked. And we learned that like Hamilton over here, the fish were caught shallow, and we were out there like by ourselves off the bank catching 9 pounds. And we see these 20-pound bags brought in, and we're like, dude, what are they doing? And we were just in the wrong area. But yeah, it's been a while. And that's what me and Johnny is busy. The problem is, as busy as I've been, we can't fish. Like he's been trying to do content, and we're trying to meet up, but it's kind of Jimmy's problem. Like I'm the guy messing it up.
I can't imagine. I mean, as busy as I am, I can only imagine how busy you guys are doing y'all stuff full time and stuff. And Patricia Lynn Shaw says Emil for the classic win. So yeah, we're a hometown boy. We're rooting for him to pull it out. But we got some good ones in there, guys. It's gonna be a fun one. All right, Tyler wants to know, do you think fish set up in the deep water most of the year and move up shallow to spawn for a week or two at a time? I guess meaning moving back out to deep water after they spawn, or do you think they move up and find other homes?
Man, I both. They I think each fish literally has a different personality, what their mood is. Like Washita being a deep, clear reservoir, dude, there will be wolf packs of 20, 15 fish on the bank you can see with their eyes, and they're eating brim and crawfish. So after they spawn, they want to eat. And like a brim's going to have, it's like a ribeye, to where if I go out off the bank, out there chasing threadfin shad, because our lakes don't have like the gray, which I fish has gizzards, but like it's mostly threadfin. And so I really think it's a bait deal, like a forage thing. So no, I think fish stay up there for sure. But it's also, like I said, different for each one. What I've not found yet, like on Washita, that or like some of my lakes here, Hamilton, I have. But it's weird, like they'll be in a ditch 40, 50 foot in the winter, and they're in that zone and they go and spawn, but then like they don't go back there. Like in some areas, Hamilton they did last year. Like we'd find some fish and it'd be stupid. But it's interesting how some lakes they do that, some they don't. I think Washita they kind of just stay up there and eat brim, and that's why like a popular bite for us is a dang what's that thing called the Chapo and whatever that topwater bait is. It's real.
Yeah. Whopper plopper type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so a whopper, right? I don't. Yeah. Anyway, just would have.
I'm not a whopper. I've got them, but I don't ever throw them hardly at all. So I had a question. Oh, my question: do y'all have spotted bass out there at all?
Oh yeah, we do. Not like y'all.
I got you.
For example, the gray I caught a 3-pounder 2 years ago. That was my biggest there. If you catch a 2.7, that's a massive one. Washita, my biggest is 3.4, but like 2.5 is a big one. Like and we don't have them like you guys do.
Gotcha. What's going on, Doug Rice? He's in the comments. All right, Tyler with another question. He's firing them all. He said he was coming in hot with questions tonight, so he's firing them all. For herring lakes, forward-facing sonar seems to be the best way to locate fish compared to other forms of sonar. Mapping and forward-facing is the key to success for me personally. He was just making a comment there. And then his follow-up question to that, Coach, would you agree that where creeks meet the main lake is a year-round hotspot for roaming fish on bait?
Oh, 100%. So, like, my strategy of teaching it, man, and like not even just always the fish on bait, which I know we were talking about a herring lake to like my lakes don't have herring, but like Washita, they act like herring lakes. Like as I've learned, like them fish move around and me talking to people about it. But how I teach it is your main creek channel, your main like river channel, whatever it is, that's your interstate. So like I'm over here looking at I-40. That's your interstate. I-30 is what goes from Little Rock to Dallas. Your creek channels are your highways, and then your ditches and your drains are your roads. So I teach it like as in when like an interstate meets a highway, there could be a Buc-ee's right there, or any popular gas station you guys have. I don't know what it is, or like a town, whatever. So if you find that dang community, it's going to be typically at one of those as you're calling a hotspot. So that's how I teach it, like to people, like thinking on it, because like you'll learn if you're going to jump in this game, like. We know a lot more at times. I get advanced anglers. Like I had a dude this week that won a boat, but we get a lot of guys that really want to learn like how to find fish, and they don't understand the creek channel, the ditches, drains. They don't understand the structure. So you got to find ways to be creative and teach. So like that's always kind of been my deal. And it's not just deep clear lakes. Like example, Southwest Arkansas has a lake called Millwood Lake. It's a lowland reservoir. It's a Sandy Cooper. How about that? It's a Sandy Cooper. It has gators, cypress trees, hydrilla, everything, like 9 forms of grass, shell beds. I learned there so much when I lived there for 6 years before I went full time. I was down there coaching football, and I went from fishing deep clear lakes to this little shallow river mud hole. I learned so much there that I take to Washita. And it's like, for example, where these two creeks meet, there's going to be current, there's a shell bed there, or how the current's moving this way, how the fish position. I'm fishing 4 to 2 foot of water there, but at Washita I'm fishing 30 to 50. And so it's crazy how like those little shallower areas kind of help me out on like these hot spots where these creek channels and all that meet.
So, and this is more selfish questions now. When you've got somebody that they say they want to go find fish, like they want to do forward face, but they want to go find fish, and they don't really have a lot of experience with it. How are you teaching them other than showing them? I mean, I'm obviously got to show them too, but how do you being a teacher, how do you break it down to where you go, okay, I've got them on a good starting point with this piece of knowledge? Like, what do you tell them right off the bat and say, look, you need to understand XYZ, whatever it is, this is how you find fish. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying or not, because
no, it does. So like, and I had to think about this. This is my 3rd year doing this too, right? Like, and I've been full time for 4 years after working for Johnny for like a whole year. So what I thought was the best way of teaching, because like, let's say I'm taking these guys to a main lake point, and we're in 80 foot of water. Well, why are these fish here? Or there's a ridge. Why are they here? I always go back to, hey, you need to know where they go to spawn. or you need to make a guess where they spawn. So look, in the back of that pocket, look, they could be spawning there. They could be here. When they're done spawning, they're going to go here, here, and now they're out here on this main lake point. And like some fish on my lakes, of course, will spawn on the main lake on high islands and humps, that sort of deal. But like it always to me goes back to knowing where they spawn and then teach their pattern of movement.
Gotcha. And that makes a lot of sense. That's, you know, one of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years, forcing myself to go out and use my electronics more, was understanding, okay, the fish should be going here, and this is why they're in this area, and wind and everything else that goes into that. So that makes a lot of sense. All right, so here's a great question. Koiki God Coleman, this is our buddy Coleman Jones. What would you say is one thing that separates a good scoper versus a great scoper? And that's a really good question.
Great question. I say a good scoper can catch a good scoper, and almost nowadays, like you're going to catch suspended fish, and you're going to be able to switch it up. A great scoper knows how to catch them when they're on the bottom. And for example, how many guys from the Tennessee River system are going out and kicking butt in tournaments right now that are young? Okay. And I say that as in Kentucky Lake, and they're all different. All the TVAs are different, but like Kentucky Lake, you've had a lot of these young dudes go to. Are we good?
You're breaking up a little bit. It's mostly just your screen. You're still coming with audio. We can still hear you.
I'm sorry. Now, are we good? I need to go back in and out. That's a good question.
We can still hear you. I don't know why you're saying that. And your screen went out again. So all right, we lost him. Just guys, hang tight. He's coming back. He is going to make every effort. He has done way more than I would expect anybody else to do to come in. And Coleman, that's a really good question. I want to make sure we cover that question, because I know for me, like I went out and had scope for, I don't know, 4 years now, and catching fish on. I was like, oh, I figured this out. I can catch fish with scope. And then when I went out with Eric, he showed me a lot more of the tricks to scope that I didn't have any clue that I was throwing it right. But go ahead and answer that question.
Okay. So hey, next time I realized what just happened there for your future deals. And I didn't even change it, but I just had a text message come through. I didn't open it, and it jacked everything up. So maybe next time,
gotcha.
I'll do the do not disturb. Maybe that you can tell your guys that.
There you
go. All
go.
right, so a good scoper and great scoper. A good scoper, and what a lot of people are learning to do is be able to catch suspended fish. The great ones know how to catch fish on the bottom and on cover structure. And for example, I was talking about the TVA dudes. There's a lot of young guys from Kentucky Lake that are going out and kicking butt. And they came to Lake Hamilton this last year, my lake, for the All-American, and did some juice. Like they came and caught them on a lake that's very pressured, and they did some stuff. But what these guys understand here is if you throw it 10 bass at Kentucky Lake, or excuse me, wrong form. If you throw it 10 fish swimming at Kentucky Lake, 9 of them are going to be trash fish, maybe 10. Okay, so you don't go throw it dots here. You got to know how they set up on stumps, shell beds, brush piles, and then be able to work. And that's what I think great scopers understand. I learned that, luckily, in that year with the flutter spoon. Like I was fishing a lake in Southwest Arkansas. It's like a lake fork of Arkansas. Like, dude, it has so many 4 to 7 pounders, and it's unreal. Josh Jones and them are going to OH Ivy and throwing at dots and catching all these fish. And like I went down there, I fished this lake that I'm talking about. I threw it 100 fish and never got one to react. I go to OH Ivy, I catch a 10 pounder, and I'm like, okay. So I go back to this lake, and I'm like, well, what in the world? Like I got to figure it out. Well, the summer came, and I went to all my old like crankbait holes. They're like deep diving crankbait holes, and I see the rock, and I like I said, this is 3 years ago, and I don't really understand the movement of them down there, and you might only see 1 or 2. Then I throw that flutter spoon out there, and all of a sudden, zoom, here they come off the bottom. So you're fishing for fish you don't see, but you trust the process. And so I think the great scopers understand how to trust the process and fish like that stump quick, or fish this ledge fast. And for example, I went to Toledo Bend last year in May, and I got to fish with a guy named Glenn Freeman. Y'all go Google Glenn. Glenn is one of the best ever at Toledo Bend. Won more Costas, won more BFLs there than anybody. He's 73 years old. He is special at fishing. Special. I've known him through a friend. So I got in his boat, and he wants to learn the minnow better. Like he's trying to learn it. but he also can catch fish his way. So he took me to a ridge, and I'm like, "How you been catching them here?" He's like, "On my rinky dink and my little trick worm." And I was like, "All right, rinky dink's a tail spinner." So I was like, "Hey, they're on the bottom." He goes, "Sure, yeah, they are." So like I'm going down there, I don't see any fish, and he's watching me not make any cast. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm looking for them on the bottom." I was like, "But they can be anywhere. Y'all keep throwing your rinky dink in the back, because I know if he catches one, he might bring up the school." Well, all of a sudden, I see one on the bottom. I throw my minnow past there. I work it right above the bottom. Zoom! Jack a 3-pounder, and there's like 15 more with it. And he was like, "Wow." He goes, "You can use that to catch fish on the bottom." I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Crap, my clients can do this." I'm like, "Yes, sir. If you don't put him in timber," because he'll take his clients to non-timbers play. He guides now, but he don't guide to anybody. He guides just to his repeat clients that he's had for like 30 years. But so I think the great scopers get that. If that hopefully helps y'all's question.
I think that answers that question really good. I think the Glenn Freeman name came up in another show, and I don't remember if it was with Brazalo's when we had him on, Danny Arballo. I can't remember if he named him out. Somebody else talked about Glenn Freeman. I can't remember who it was. Seems like recently though. And I had another question on that same thing. You were talking about the trash fish versus different lakes playing out different ways with that.
Yeah.
And obviously that goes into research, and I'm assuming, and I'm going to assume here. So you're looking at past like as much fishing content as you can to figure out that's the case, like that. Going to Kentucky Lake.
No, like the people up here, like me talking to enough people, and like in the world of like the TVAs, Kentucky Lake is the worst place to throw at suspended fish. Okay. And that's why some of the best anglers are here, because they might throw it 50 still and catch one, and they know what it looks like. But if you go to Gunnersville, oh yeah, you're about to throw at bass. Go to Pickwick, you're going to throw at bass. But the carp came in here, I forgot how long ago, and the carp still live here. But I think when the carp came and like took the lake over, the bass learned, hey, I can't compete with them on the bait. I got to stay on my spots, my shell bars, let the bait come to me. And a shell bar is rock and it's hard. Then fish get so glued to it, you might not see them. So you got to throw your lure out there and trust it. There's just so much little things to that. But all the lakes are different with the trash fishing. But like this is the one like TVA, and that's one reason why the guys were bringing me up. They're like, "Hey, we don't know what a crappie is from this or that." And so like here comes the fishing coach. We're going to try to help you out.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, and because I've gone to different lakes, like I fish a deep clear lake and then I go to a different lake, and it's like, why is it not working like it does? It seems like it should work the same way everywhere, but that makes total sense. I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense.
And your parts of the area of the lakes, like Lake Ouachita, the deep clear end, like I got to worry about stripers, sometimes drum, and then a crappie. But if I go to the river, oh yeah, like you're about to throw some drum and some gar, you don't know what you're doing. So it is different also on different parts of the lake.
Yeah. And I've got a question for that, but we'll hold it to later. We got a couple of good questions coming in. Nathan Owens wants to know, what's the best beginner unit for side imaging? Is Mega the way to go, or is Garmin okay?
I love Garmin. Before I say anything, I'm not affiliated with any Garmin, Lowrance, or Humminbird. Now, I'm partnered with the monitor, that ICU monitor. If any want a question on it, I've been in so many trips with all the monitors, NBTs, RMP. Anyway, so there's that. But I'm going to say Garmin is great, but it depends on y'all's lakes with the mapping. Garmin has taken over the mapping for our lakes. Originally, Humminbird was Lake Master, blah, blah, blah. Garmin, I love Garmin for my lakes because the creek channels are so much more defined and it's better. And the Garmin, I'll say this, it depends on the Garmin unit. Like if you get a 106, they're 10-inch, dude, it's terrible for side and down imaging. I'm sorry, if y'all got it, you probably know what I'm talking about. The 126 SD is what most of the professional tournament anglers have. It's good, but their 8000 series units is incredible. And then that 1243 I got, it's incredible too. Humminbird, I like Humminbird, but Humminbird's a calculus problem. Humminbird's not easy to use.
That's my thing with Humminbird. Yes. Okay.
I when I get in a boat with Humminbird, I get pissed off because I just like Lowrance. I'll tell you what, Lowrance is caught up too. Lowrance, and they're easy. Like Lowrance is a pre-algebra problem. There's so many that's so easy to use. And so Humminbird, their top of the line units, the Apex, the Solex.
Yeah.
They're legit, but they still have their issues. and they're still hard to use. So I'm kind of off the hummingbird wagon. Like they're great, whatever, but don't go spend that crazy money on it. Like I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got this question here where I'm going to ask you. You decide if you want to answer or not. Does Randy actually hate the scope as bad as he says?
I think he does now. I don't think he did originally. But man, I talked to you about that behind the scenes a little bit
Yeah.
about. I love Randy. I think he dislikes it, but I think he kind of forced himself to hate it. How about that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and that's what Tyler says. Randy's probably a good dude. Just the internet better than the internet
hey,
portrays.
I tell you, if Randy called me right now and said, "Hey, I need this," I would go do it. Like I said, like Randy treated me well. Guys, I got to be in the boat and watch this dude catch fish with his little Mega Bass Super Z2 spinning rod, back reeling deal. Like I watched it. Okay. But anyway, he is what he is. So yeah, but he's a good dude, great guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I mean, we've talked about it on the show before. We disagree with what he says. Tyler also said that he disagrees with his view on scope, but we also know that sometimes you build a brand and you have to kind of stick with what you're doing if you want to do it that way. They're still talking in the background here. Let's see here. All right. Ken Pruitt wants to know, when you pull up on a school, do you have a sequence of lures you throw in order to see what they will bite? Example, crankbait first, then a shaky head, and then a hair jig, and then a spoon.
Yeah. So, man, it also depends on the lake. Okay. It depends on the lake, time of year, but, and it depends how they're set up. Like there's so much to it, but like, let's say I see that school, typically now I don't even throw a lure more than 2 times at them. Like if they don't eat the first time, I go to the next one, then I read them. And then you also got to be smart with like a crankbait brings them to the boat. So a minnow might also, but I could drop that minnow down and they follow it down. And then if they don't eat it, I can reel it back real fast. So they stay there. But it depends on the area, time of year. But like I also think of like a worm doesn't bring them to the boat. So I like, there'll be times like if I have clients and we're doing like a catching trip, like I will in the summer and fall, if I see them set up and I'm like, hey, throw a worm or an eco rig in it, I'll have them throw it one time. If they don't get bit, we're out. And then like, for me, topwater lure, when May comes, I will have 1, maybe 2 in May, but when like August comes, I'll have 4 or 5 different topwater lures on.
Yeah. So going back to what you just said about throwing one time, how long do you give a spot, whether you're fun fishing for content, whatever, taking somebody out? How long do you give a spot? Because that's my one Achilles heel I know I have is I'll go to a spot that I know the fish should be, and I swear I'm gonna set a timer, and I never do, and it's an hour later I'm going, I have just pecked around this area for an hour.
Yeah, so I don't want to give, like I'm about to tell you something that's hard for me to tell people because it's the juice that I've learned. But I'm going to tell people so we quit screwing up schools of fish because it happens on my lake. So a guy I saw earlier, like I had the funeral today, then I stopped by Goodsell Trucking here in Jacksonville, like they're in Jacksonville, Arkansas, truck accessory place. I took that guy and his son out. His son's done lesson trips with me, but he wanted his dad to go on a catching trip in the fall. So we go Lake to Gray. And this guy has caught every freaking probably form of fish, I think. Maybe not, but he's been to everywhere to catch fish off the sea. And his son told him, like, hey, get ready. Like Jimmy, like I was on some fish. I was on 7, 8 different schools of 20 to 100. We get to the first one. I'm like, hey, there they are. They're 10 foot under the surface, okay, and off this point. We're going to throw our topwaters at them. So we threw our topwaters. They come up. Wham! We all 3 catch one. We throw back in. Wham! We all 3 catch one. So we've caught 6 and 2 casts of all of us throwing cat twice. We throw again. We don't get bit. I'm like, all right, let's go. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're going to the next school. They're biting. He's like, we're not throwing again or anything else? I was like, I was like, they're going to eat today. And we rotated these 7 schools in 4 hours, caught 67 fish. And I never stayed on them longer than 2 casts we wouldn't get bit.
There you go.
And so I learned if they're not biting and you're looking at them and like there's a school, leave them alone. Because all we're doing is teaching them what our worm, our minnow, flutter spoon is. Like I won't throw a flutter spoon in schools long. I'll throw it 1 or 2 times because I don't want them to get a good look at it. But like I see it on my lakes, like what's tough on my lakes, I'm on my lessons, like there'll be a group of fish on a point and they're breaking. They're going nuts, but they're stationary fish. They're just living there. Well, people will stay on them for 30 minutes to an hour, catch 1 or 2. And they're there because they're like, oh, I know they're here. And my mind's like, hey, they're not eating. And we're just teaching them. So I'm like, get away. And as I say, get away and leave them, go find more fish. Like use that time, go find more. You can always come back. So I won't stay on like a school of fish over 5 minutes if they're not eating.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great. I mean, because how many times have we heard it, and we've said it on here? I've said it in every tournament I probably ever fished. Don't leave biting fish to find more fish.
Don't leave them to find fish. Yeah.
But
I broke that rule.
But you're basically what you're saying, because we are teaching these fish every day. You're teaching them how to not bite you the next time.
Yeah,
I think
correct.
we lost him again. Oh, there he is. He's back. We got audio. Your video's kind of clicking, but we got audio for sure. All right, still working on that. All right, can you hear me? Oh, he gone again. He'll be back. We're gonna make it through this one. And yes, Eric, I'm gonna ask him if he believes in Bigfoot. So just hang tight. I promise that one's gonna come. That's a great point, though, that we are beating up the fish to the point that we're not able to catch them the next time we go out. And it's kind of like the hunters, if it's brown, it's down type thing. So we all might want to keep that in mind, because I'm definitely guilty of that. All right, we got him back again. All right. Yeah, but I mean, like what I was saying is, I mean, I've lived by that. Don't leave biting fish to go find fish. But at the same time, and there's been times where I've been out, I figured something out and went, okay, we know they're biting here, and we know they're biting this, or I'll throw something different, and then I'll go, you know what? Let's go find some different fish, because we know they're biting doing it right here. So, man, that's actually, I think that's more juice than what some people were willing to really probably think about right there.
And then and one thing I think of too, because like I get it that like I'm on my lakes during the week. There's less boat pressure, but right now there's freaking boats all over our lakes. All these tournament guys are crazy. Y'all get on the water so much. I love the off limit weeks when the trails get off limit. But I also, with that, I know tournament strategy, you got to be smart. I get that. And the one thing I'll say is anglers are better now than ever. And like, I'm not just talking you and me, guys. These kids coming up, like people, and it's not all because of live scope. It helps, no doubt. Like I had one of my kids I did a lesson with 2 years ago, and he's scary with a minnow. In the last 3 weeks on one of my lakes, he's caught 4 between 7 and 9.5 pounds. And like these kids are good, but they're good because of how much content and information's out there. And that's what people, and they're not afraid to try new. That was always one of my things growing up, was I wasn't afraid to try different stuff. But going back to like leaving fish to find fish during a tournament setting, let's say I'm on a creek where there's bait, fish going nuts. I might give them a break, go to the mouth and play. And this is why I've taught people, like they're tournament guys. Like if this is me and they're here and I'm on this lake with 150 boats, I might go to the mouth, give it like 30 minutes of rest and guard the creek. Like I'm going to play alpha mode, that I'm going to block this creek. If you go in there, I'm going to cut you off, but I'm going to give them a rest. And I say that as in, because I've left fish on bait before in areas where they're at and come back an hour later and they bite crazy, because fish will get used to it. You start catching Bobby and Greg, letting the 2-pounders go back. Dude, like they give a code red in the water. I'm telling you, they give a code red alert. So for a tournament's sake, you got to be smart on that. I understand if someone is like, man, dude, if I leave my spot, another boat's going to pull in. Like I get some of these things too, but I'm talking for like on your way, like water, you're prepping, you're not just straight tournament fishing.
Gotcha. All right. We do have a question that we get asked every time. We ask every guest. We've asked Seth Fighter. We've asked everybody. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Ooh, dude, I want to say yes. After Matt Steffen's story, and I've been in some places where Bigfoot, like Falk, Arkansas, is 2 hours from me. They have the Falk monster. Hochatown's had it. Man, I've never seen it, but yeah, sure. Matt Steffen says yes, and yeah, we're gonna go with it.
I love the stories. I'd love to think something like that exists. I don't know if I believe it, but I love every one of the stories. So I kind of follow that. I kind of follow in that I do believe, but not really kind of thing. So we ask everybody that one here. All right, let's see what else we got in here. They're having their own questions. All right, so that Tyler brought up, going back to your on the bottom comment about fish on the bottom. It's hard to see them on the bottom. I can get them to bite and I react, but it's finding them on the bottom. All right, so that's another, just a quick question. How are you what have you learned using forward facing that helps you pinpoint bottom fish better? Maybe this is something you see. We've called them blinker fish on the show before, like seeing the blinkers. Is there anything that you can help anybody out with that?
Man, that's hard, and it's hard to even like teach it when I'm out there, like, because I can say, hey, look, that fish might be moving or this might be looking, but it's first understanding like what time of year it is and how they're on the bottom and what cover kind of they could be relating to or the structure. And you know, I got grass in my lakes too. Like that's a whole nother cover I got to worry about. But no, like I'm looking for that bottom movement. Like that's what I'm looking for is movement. If I see any movement at all,
Gotcha.
1, 2, it's just gonna be a little movement. And like I've trained my eyes kind of to look. And you know, one thing to note, like because since we got some Johnny fans, I got to put this out there. Johnny's colorblind, so him being colorblind, he sees things on side image that we don't. And I've learned that with people that go with me to fish with live scope, because colorblind people want a different color palette. They see stuff different, you know, and everybody's eyes are different to the water clarity. So that's something else to think about too, is we all see different, like we really do.
And that's one thing using the electronics on my boat. I have found I changed, you know, I went with what everybody's like, oh, you need to use this color palette and I use Lowrance stuff, but you need to use this color palette. Well, then I saw a guy using like the grayscale one. It's like the black and white version, and it picks up certain things better, I can see. And then I've gone to different color palettes on the forward face and just to try to see if it works out a little better. And that's definitely, I think it definitely helps. The color palette makes a huge difference to me on what I see and what I don't see for sure. And then Tyler followed that up with, on Lanier, I've had a hard time with fish on the bottom or structure being lazy and not committing to baits as aggressively as one suspended. Now, you know, it almost makes you wonder why. Why would one way be perfect for one lake be perfect for the bottom, and then you know the other ones are suspended better? I don't know.
So it depends on what bottom fish we're talking about. Let's say the winter, like let's say winter for example, because I just got done doing that. Those fish on the bottom are not wanting to eat. Like they're down there laying, chilling, sleeping. And you have to change up your kind of way you maybe work the lures or the colors, like depending on the time. And like I said, for me, white in the winter is what I'm throwing. I'm going to throw when that water is 55 and under, I'm throwing white. And then, you know, it's a deal of just kind of keeping it above them longer. And it always water temperature different. Like what's his face? The Canadian that's one at Knoxville.
Gussie.
So Gussie does the moping deal. Like,
yeah.
Dude, that's a great 40-degree water deal. And I've had to do that on my lakes when it's like 45, 44. So the bottom fish always is going to be depending on the season, the time. Because like if we go to Fork, where those dudes live on the bottom, and like Rayburn, oh yeah, like they're going to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we lost you a little bit there, breaking up again.
Text message.
He may drop out.
Text message comes through. Thing on do not.
Busy man. He may drop out. If he comes back in, we'll pick him back up, guys. But yeah, like I went to West Point this weekend, and he and I had talked, and I was on fishing timber, and they were biting. They were up in the timber. The ones on the bottom, you couldn't get close to them and even get them to bite remotely. So, and then Tyler, the next question I'm going to ask when he jumps back on is the one about the timber fish maybe being catfish. So let me close this one out. Close this one out. Bring this one back. All right, we got you back again, buddy. Well, sort of. I don't know what's going on with this thing tonight, y'all. Let's drop this one out. Remove that one. All right. So anyway, what we're talking about with the timber fish is that they were actually biting. You know, it was spotted bass in the timber that would actually bite. The ones on the bottom wouldn't touch anything. So, guys, I know he's dropping some good juice tonight. So that's the one good thing is that we're getting some good information out of him. We just got to get it where we can get him consistently here. He's willing to tell us everything so far, so that's pretty good. All right, we're going to try it one more time. All right, we got you again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We maybe we should have waited till I was home, but it's all right.
Dude, man. Hey, listen. If you got a roll, I'm good with. I don't want to hold you up for sure.
But, no. I know I keep losing you, but I'm having fun. So no, like I know I keep losing.
I appreciate you battling through it. I appreciate you battling through it. I know everybody else does too. So anyway, Tyler had another comment here. I think some of them in the timber are kitty fish or catfish. How do you determine, or what is a trick maybe you have to determine between a bass and a catfish or a drum or whatever it be in timber or something like that, where it's kind of harder to tell what fish you're dealing with?
Okay, so screen size always helps, of course, like a 10 and 12. And like this last week I fished on 10-inch screens, so I wasn't in my boat with 18s. But man, catfish, like a 2-4 pound catfish looks like a 2-4 pound bass at times. Now one thing with me, like if I'm throwing at single fish, which I throw at single fish late fall, winter, pre and post spawn a little bit. I don't like throwing at singles when the water's hot. When the water gets warm, I'm a group guy. I'm gonna go find groups, schools. I don't like throwing at singles. But if I throw at a fish one time, they don't react, and I know they see my lure, I'm near them, I don't even throw at them again. Drum are gonna be more like triangular shape and grainy. Catfish at times you can tell like it kind of gives a return that's a little different than the bass because of how its bodies is. But bass, I'm looking for like how that thing's moving and swimming on the speed. And bass will go fast, and sometimes them spotted bass look like torpedoes. Like they have a little different shape. And like I said, it's kind of on the day. There'll be days like it's crazy. There'll be days like I don't like miss. Like I'm like, hey, that's not a bass or this that. Then there's days where I'm like, hey, watch this, and it's a crappie, and I'm like, oh crap, it's one of those days. I'm gonna be off. And so, but like it's different because like when I went to Toledo Bend, like this last year, I got told that like there are lakes where catfish will suspend and be in bait, and I have not experienced that yet. I get to Toledo Bend and I found a school. I thought they were all 2 to 4 pounders, and they were catfish. And so I learned real quick.
Hey, my buddy Eric in the comments, he caught them busting on top water and caught like a 30-pounder. I mean, they were busting top water. So,
wow.
I mean, you never know. There's so he's got Tyler's got another question too. I thought I had something else follow up that, but he wants to know what are some tips. Now, this may be like setting tips, some tips for finding fish on the bottom with scope. I have started turning my gain down to create more separation from the bottom and a fish, but it works okay, not great. So is there any settings like you say, hey, look, you need to set your unit to do this versus that?
Man, I've never thought of it like that way, to be honest. I have ways I change the settings, but I've not like specifically done it for bottom fish. Now, I know some people have told me they like turn their color limit up for bottom fish. I don't like that for some reason. Like I keep my color limit 10 to 30, but I know some guys will put that thing 40, 50, 60. But I've never really thought of it like that way. I have different ways I set it up, but it's always on water clarity and kind of the day how it goes. Because like a clear lake, I like the green palette. And then when it's like stained water, I'm gonna use lava or amber. Like that's my two for like stained water scenarios. But that's a good thought. Like I might need to kind of look on that a little more.
Got you. There you go. All right, Eric's got a question. What is the most underrated core tackle product that gets slept on the most? My favorite is the Scamper, but what's your favorite?
That Scamper rig was created for y'all's part of the world, so I can see that being the favorite. Man, the Ozark rig. I love the Ozark rig. I don't get to use it as much because of course, it's more for a shallow power deal or a flipping thing. But Johnny partly created it for how he watched me. You lose y'all?
No, you're still there.
Oh, no, okay. Johnny partly made that for how he watched me use a Z-crawl on that Millwood Lake. I swim it like on a 5-aught EWG hook. So he came up with a way to be able to put a creature bait where you could swim it, give it different action, and flip it. So like I like the Ozark rig. The hover rig, man, I was in the house where the hover rig talk began. Like I was there with Matt and Johnny 2022, and I'm just like, at the time I'm like what, like this is the summer of 20. And like it was never intended to be, hey, we're gonna go catch live scope fish with this thing. Like it was not like this was a legit technique that the guys been doing up in the north for 20, 30 years to catch smallmouth and catch fish in grass. And it all just kind of came about. Cause like my first hover rig fish was on a flatworm off a rock pile. Like I let that thing get down there. I twitched it. Fish came up, scoop, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And anyway, so yeah, those are rig. Johnny, if you're asking Johnny, it'd be the tush. He loves the tush. And then I'm trying to think. And then his new dice hook. I can't wait to see the new dice hook. So
yeah, I'm kind of interested to see that. He had dropped me some juice. It's been months ago about an A-rig he was using. Of course, I tried to go find it online. It was gone.
don't that don't get me started on that. That gosh, I'm mad about the A-rig. I will say it on here. He knows it. I've told so many people. I've known about the A-rig for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's been a quiet thing I've kept under the rug. I had a client show me it last year, and he knew about it. I was like, oh, crap, somebody else knows. And I kept it good. And I was like trying to pick his brain because I had a client who fishes like 200 days a year, and he had them, and he knew. And I was over here like, And I like to play it cool. But anyway, it's the Ghost. It's the Ray Japan Ghost Wire. G-Crack makes it too. But I'm mad because I wanted Core Tackle to make one. I was catching, I'd go to a hole at Lake Hamilton. It's 7,000 acre lake, very, very pressured. When I realized how good it was last March there. And I filmed this video's on footage. This is straight on camera. Right. But I was lying and saying of my Alabama rig I was using. I straight up did. I don't lie much, but I did this day. And it's funny because anyway, it's bad. Please forgive me, everybody. I know I'm not perfect. But I was on a community hole and there's 7 boats around me. And I was like, we're about to find out how good this is. And there was fish out there on bait. It's a flat with a ledge. And I had 18 pounds in 30 minutes. And all these boats were like, what the crap? What are you doing? And it's an A-rig in the distance. But what they didn't see is I'm throwing on a 7-foot rod. And I'm shaking it. I'm shaking it just like a minnow. Because what it's doing is making minnows go like this. Yeah. And so, man, if I don't want to move, I'm in my truck. I could go get my pole. I don't want to move and mess the service up. But I got some. I'm about to throw them at Kentucky Lake. I'm about to shake that thing over some stumps and some shell beds and see if it can make it happen. But I'm mad because Johnny finally had a good day with it, and he don't throw it much. But they wouldn't eat nothing, and he picked it up, made a video, and gave me a little shout out in there. But I was just like, dude, let's make some. Let's because it works, and they're hard to get. They're hard to get.
Yeah, no, he told me, he sent me the pictures. I guess it was 2 6-pounders he caught, and he sent me the pictures and then told me the A-rig, and I went to go look for it. And I'm going, yeah, I'm not getting that A-rig anytime soon. You couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh yeah, and it's very and it's $75 just for the rig, and then you got to put hover rig hooks on it or 1/32 owner range roller hooks. You're putting fish rollers on it. It costs some money, and then you got to put on the right rod because the hooks will straighten out, and so I'm working with a company right now and getting one developed. They gave me their first prototype or their second, and that second one caught me 70 fish before it broke. And it caught fish. It caught fish at Oklahoma. I went to Broken Bow and caught fish with it on a lesson, Ouachita to Gray. So we're hoping to have those ready by the fall.
I got you. All right. So Eric's got another question. He wants to know, what's your best way to locate shell bars? Is there a certain feature you look for? Or is it just basically luck and happening upon them?
No, it's all about current. It's all about current, understanding how current flows and moves. So on my lakes, there's not much shell on my lakes. Now Millwood there is, and a Millwood down there, I had 27 that were hot at one point. And it's a lake people didn't know shell even was there. And some people still don't know. But I made a shell bed video there and made some people mad. And anyway, so it just is what it is. That's on Fish the Moments channel. It's a legit video. But man, it's all about current, reading the current, kind of understanding what it's doing. So it's not much of luck. You can use side imaging to find them, but when there's a lot of rocking areas, it's hard to find the actual shell because they're all bright and kind of look the same. But it's just understanding current, how it's moving and meeting up in areas, and how it kind of fluctuates on flats or points.
So basically, just a little bit of map study beforehand and look for that, and then go out there and kind of dial it in once you get there.
Yep. So how I found them on Millwood, which, like I said, shallow lake, the main lake, there's 2-3 foot. There's a low water image from 1985. I got the ditch, and that lake silted up. So I got the ditch drawn on Google Earth, moved it to my Lowrance, and then I followed the ditch. and on the bends, I was throwing a 1/2 ounce football jig or whatever to try to find it and to try to find hard spots. And so I was using the actual lure to find them because it was so shallow.
Now, you just said something right there. I don't know if anybody else caught it. So you're going to Google Earth, looking at the history, drawing it out, and then whatever you call it, downloading it and putting it on your graph.
100%.
Man, I never thought about doing stuff like that, like actually drawing out ponds and stuff like that where they might be on a lake.
So one of my uncuts on my channel that came out, the one with the koiki in the mouth, it's one of my newer videos.
Yep.
So that was a lake I've never been to. It's a legit lake in Arkansas right now, but it's a lowland reservoir, 4,000 acres. They lowered it all the way to fix the dam, and then they refilled it. It's still low, but I went and probably spent 2 hours on Google Earth one night, like 11 o'clock to 1 in the morning, drawing up every ditch, drawing the road beds. There's ponds, whatever, and that's on my map. Like that's on my boat right now. So yeah, you can do that.
So that's literally it's making your own mapping basically at that point. Yep. That's actually really.
And you're using Google Earth, so you draw the lines on Google Earth, go through that, make a file. You got to make it the right file for your graph. Boom, put it over. So I mean, you can do it on other lakes as well. But yeah, that's something Johnny Schultz been doing for a long time.
I just didn't. I mean, and he's probably said I just never thought about it. It's not something I've ever thought about doing. Mm-hmm. That's actually good juice. All right, bass time with Diaz. He and I fish together. He's a good dude. All right, Coach, you catch one out of a group of 6 to 10 fish slightly suspended over a rock pile shaking a minnow. What is your follow-up bait?
Well, do they come to the boat or not?
Yeah, see, that's a good question. Let's say they don't. You catch one, they don't move off that rock pile, but they're not biting the minnow after that. Let's use that example. They're not biting the minnow after that first fish.
I'm gonna throw a jig down there, and if they don't eat the jig, I mean maybe a crankbait, but I'm gonna move on. And it also depends on the lake and the season, because like I'm telling you, like I will throw that flutter spoon in the summer. Like I will throw it. Like if I catch one with a minnow off of it, they don't eat the jig, I'm gonna throw that flutter spoon one time. So it's going to depend on the lake as well.
Got you. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm just going to tell y'all, if we lose anything, we got thunderstorms. I'm just hearing them roll in. So if anything goes down, it is what it is. So I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. I just hear thunder and lightning out there. So all right, they're talking about the. Somebody says the Humminbird Explorer's fantastic unit, or Tyler says it's fantastic unit. Waypoint management is lackluster compared to Lowrance. Yeah, that's the thing. They were talking about the 8K series being about $4,000. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good question here, guys. All right, let's see. Cranking and Yankin's here. He's got the Cranking and Yankin is our Louisiana anti-forward facing guy. He's the one guy we love him to death, but he's got the eye rolls going on. So we're about 20 minutes behind on comments. So all right. Let's see here. Some guys are saying time on the water for different things. Let's see. All right. Ken's got a good question here. Have you done 2 transducers in forward and landscape / scout mode at the same time? Does that help with casting accuracy? So basically 2 of them in forward or 2 of them in landscape.
I've done 2 forward before, quite a bit actually. Since I'm in a boat with 2 forward right now, I've never done 2 at landscape. I wouldn't think that would even be needed, just top of my head. But I'm not saying that someone else hasn't figured that out.
Right.
Yeah, the 2 forward's cool, but what I was using it for is this winter I'd have one at like 120 foot out, one at like 40 out, because at times I'd find these schools on the bottom and then I'm catching them under the boat.
Right.
So, and I have my 120 foot out, so if I'm catching them under the boat or dropping down on them, pulling them up, boom, boom, and then one swimming in, then I can see that thing with the 120 and throw at it. Cause like that.
Yeah, man, that's some like my mind's going. I don't even know if I can focus on two units doing the same thing. At the same time.
And that's why I don't like to. Like, you don't need to. Now I will tell you, like, because I went out and did it last week. I had forward and perspective going on a shallower lake. They're done spawning. I went there to catch them on beds with it, and it's cheating. Like, it's not. I'm glad they took it away in tournaments, because like being able to see a fish on forward and see its bed, like, dude, that's wild. Like, and like you don't see the bed. The fish is in 8 foot of water, and so like that's crazy. I'm glad they took the 2 away for those scenarios. And anyway, like, and hey, I want to go to this. Let's talk about like catching without scope earlier, and then because I know we lost internet. I tell you what I think's hard. Like, not hard, but like it's hard for the young guy. So in the Bassmaster Elite, they took it away from 4 tournaments, but they took it away from practice. You can't even use it in practice.
Right.
And that's what I think is huge, to like talking about like, hey, how do you feel about catching without it? Like if
Yeah.
you go to those tournaments, find them without it and catch them, dude, that's big time. But like the MLF BPT, they can still use it in practice.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Cause like Jimmy, for example, like there were some tournaments this last fall on Lake DeGray that were no scope. And I don't fish on Saturdays. I try to hang with the family. But I was like, man, I want to go fish one of those no scope tournaments so bad. Cause I know I'm gonna win. Cause I know how these fish are set up off the bank. I don't need live scope now. I got all my trails and my GPS points. But I was out there 5 days a week looking at them with live scope. But if
Yeah.
you took away from me for 5 days and I'm out there, it's a different game.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying the MLF BPT, them being able to use it for practice is huge compared to the elites. And we saw it in that Gunnersville tournament.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It straight up. So
I mean, it probably changes the game quite a bit. I mean, like you said, I mean, it makes it, and what I'm getting at is it's probably a good optic for MLF to say we're going to limit it during the tournament, but realistically, they're getting to use it for more of the fishing than, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
they're getting to use it for a lot longer than that, just that one period. They have to turn it off or whatever. So it actually helps them out during the practice for sure. All right. We got one of our sponsors in the comments, Big Al Speed Shine. He's like, hey guys, just got home from baseball lessons. Same deal as last week for the viewers. If you order a bottle during the show, he's going to send you a free hat. Just make sure you tell him your name and all that good stuff so he can know you're watching the show.
the bottle.
So he makes Big Al Speed Shine. It is the best boat shine they make out there. Its stuff is awesome. It is the best stuff ever. But he's one of the show sponsors, guys. If you do order a bottle, put it in the comments that you ordered a bottle. He'll see it, and we'll go from there. All right. So they're talking about the color palette. Somebody likes moss green. Color palette makes a big deal. Amber's great. So Tyler says amber's great for the bottom crawl for sure. I'm kind of torn on the amber. I've got another color palette I've been working with, and it shows up really well too. All right, so Kent Goins has got a good question here. What do you do if they're close to cover and your bait misses and the fish goes back into cover? You try to pull him back out or not mess with him at all?
All right, but your bait misses. Like your bait misses.
Let's say the fish might see it hit the water, but it's not in his wheelhouse, but he sees it and he goes back to the cover. Do you go try to pull him out of that cover or just leave it be after he sees that first time?
I'm gonna throw in there one more time for sure. I'm gonna throw in there, but like when I miss it, I'm gonna roll it in real fast. Like I'm gonna work this thing in real quick, so we don't ever have a good chance to look at it.
Yep. And this kind of follow-up question, Kim Pruitt won't know, what are some new A-rigs you've tried? I know we talked about that one. What are some new ones you've messed with?
The Stealth. I've used that Stealth rig, which is a big Tennessee River one, and like I think it's great for shallow water Alabama rig fishing. I don't think it's good for deep clear lakes. It just takes longer to sink and stuff. But the other one I want to get my hands on, I've touched it, but I've not gotten to use it, is the Tornado Innovations rigs. I met those guys at a convention a few weeks ago. They're great, but they got a minnow shaking rig I think's big time.
I saw that one the other day. I saw some Facebook footage or something about that one that was minnow shaking. It was pretty wild looking to see it. And I got to meet Saxton up there with Stealth Lures up there, the Coleman show, and then again over here in Tennessee. All right, another great question from Eric. Do you tend to drop a bait to the bottom if you get a follower that's not too hot on the bait? Like he's following, but he's just not coming at it. Do you drop it to the bottom and see what they'll do?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, seasonally, but it depends on like once getting to my lake and my depth I'm fishing at. I'll even drop it if they're on the bait and I can tell they're not going to eat it. Because one thing you need to figure out on your day is, do we want to eat up or do we want to eat down today? And so yeah, like I'll drop it and just see how they act at time to time for sure. Because you can catch them off the bottom with the minnow also.
Right.
When bottom, like when it goes down there, they might eat that thing down on the fall or when it's down there on the bottom.
Yep. I've thrown it right in front of their face and just drop it and set it there and leave the rod just sitting still and the jokers pick it up off the bottom for sure. All right, so they're gonna ask you all the stuff. So what's your sneakiest setting trick? Like if you've got a certain trick that you do on your Garmin's or whatever, and you like sneakiest setting.
I don't know if there is a sneakiest setting. I just know. Hey, I want to tell you, like I hear some pros say on podcasts, I just turn the unit on and just go fishing. That's a bunch of crap. I say it's probably playing with your transducer where it's at, where it's mounted. So moving it up, whatever. And I like color gain high. I keep everything else off. Noise reject, I go low. So I don't know if there is like a sneaky setting trick. I think having good batteries and wiring is good. Is a key. But I don't know if there's like really a sneaky like setting trick.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I've messed around with a lot of the settings on there, and I don't know that not that I'm not smart enough with it. I know I can figure stuff out, but I don't see a lot of differences and stuff. But like you said, wiring and batteries are key. I mean, there's an argument about battery power and all that stuff, and I'll leave that one alone. But I can tell you from my experience working in electronics for the military, wiring is 100% the key. Like that is the deal. I mean, because you can cause overheating, you can do all kind of stupid stuff with batteries and things like that. So absolutely. Let's see. Somebody, Jeff Brazil's in here. He said, "How about the new Arkansas Legacy Lunker program? I'm glad to see someone trying to replicate what Texas is doing." I'm not familiar with that. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, 100%, man. I was it's crazy. So I'm excited about this, and we're going to have success. It's going to take time. So what it is if you right now from January to March 31st catch a 10-pounder, and it's legal, whatever, all that stuff, they come get it. It's just like the Share Lunker program.
Right.
We have 13 right now turned in, which I was going to think 7 was going to get turned in.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off. I want to come back.
All right. All right. He's going to answer that question, guys, for sure. Kevin, welcome in, buddy. Glad to see you made it. Never too late. We always appreciate you being here. And Eric, you think MLF will be the first to go all scope again? I think you're probably right. I mean, I don't think we're going to be completely out of the scope game for sure. Let me drop that one out. Well, I'm going to leave that one pulled up. Let's drop him out there. I don't see them all staying no scope. I think they're playing with it to see what happens. I believe MLF will probably come back with it a little more, like you said. I don't know. I don't know if they'll be the first one to go back with it all. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to what Bass might do. I don't know that. We'll see. We'll see what numbers they produce this year, because that seems to be the big thing every year. They get done with the season, they kind of come out with how many watchers, how many viewers, this, that, and the other. So we'll see what happens. And Eric, you are correct. Big Al Speed Shine is legit, guys. If you hadn't tried Big Al Speed Shine, please give it a shot. It is well worth it for sure. Hopefully we get him back. He's been a trooper through this, guys. Y'all been a trooper sticking with us for an hour and a half. I know we had a few mess ups in there, but he's coming back for sure. So you think MPLF no scope, Bass 50-50, MLF scope? I don't know. It's a possibility. I'm just wondering if Bass is going to want to go that direction more. All right, we got him back one more time. Here we go. There he is. Sorta.
We good? I really think it's my phone's like going out. My iPhone might be done.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, we're good. So
all right,
the Legacy program, I knew that this was coming because they asked me last year, if you catch a double digit, hey, we're gonna go ahead and kind of start it. And me or my clients didn't. We anyway, and that's hard to do in Arkansas. But I thought 7 was going to be the number. But we have 13, and most of them are from small lakes. We have really only one big lake, DeGray, that's had 4. But man, it's going to be great. It's going to take time. We have people right now in place to help our bass fishing go in a good direction. It's just our problem with our state is there's so much duck hunting involved. Duck. And the duck hunt, man, I don't want to get going on it, but fishing is a year-round sport, and duck hunting is a 2.5-month sport. And, we got Stuttgart, duck capital of the world. Our duck hunt's awful. It is terrible from what it was 20, 25 years ago. And so this is a good direction for our state. And like I said, we've had success. I've known a few of the guys that have caught some of the bass, but they're on lakes that have big fish. And in 2024, when I started, my on the water business kind of got going. What got it kicked off was a good friend of mine caught 11-pounder, and I put him on the fish. I had a client catch a 12.6, and then I caught an 11, and we did that in 11 days. So in Arkansas, three double digits, 11 days, and that will never happen again, probably. Like that's insane. And but what got me kind of out there was, dude, this guy's teaching people live scope and they're catching double digits, and I'm over here like, hey guys, I'm not trying to teach you how to catch double digits. We got lucky. I'm trying to help you catch bass, if you want to go catch double digits, go to OH Ivy and give Josh Jones $2,000. If you want to learn how to catch fish on your lake or our lakes, let me jump in the boat. And so, like last year, I had a 7-11 Ouachita fish that was post spawn. Our biggest this year is 8.2, but like I don't pride on the big fish game. Like we're gonna catch bags, but like it's a good pro. Like I said, going back to that, man, it's great for our state. It's 100% great.
Right. So I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here, just to ask you this question. So last year, I think it was last year, maybe year before, whatever it was, Alabama, because I'm real close to Alabama and fish a lot of their lakes, tried to put a slot limit on the Coosa River chain, and they actually came out. Their experienced professionals came out and said that the Texas Yearling program was purely for just show. It wasn't doing what they claimed to do. Do you think that these programs are actually putting bass, that they're doing what their intended purpose was, or do you think it's more for show and maybe tourism and things like that? And again, this is a devil's advocate question because I have my own opinion about it. But
so that's a great question. I think it's a little bit of both. I think like for Arkansas, hey, we're trying something. We're going to try and see. And but I also believe each lake is different, and you can stock fish in it, but you better have the forage. You better have life. So that lake in Arkansas that I went and filmed that uncut at, Monticello, Arkansas is what it is. Dude, they have stocked so much brim, crappie, and bait fish. Then they put these Florida freaking Georgia bass in it. Like, I don't know what they are. And these things are 8 pounds and they're 3 years old. It's incredible. And so OH Ivy, for example, has always been OH Ivy. We just now know about it because of social media.
Right.
And people down there kept it quiet. Now, they weren't using live scope to catch these bass. They weren't doing that. And Ben Milliken and all them put that out there. But, like, there were times where OH Ivy, it's known to be low, flood. And every time it floods, life gets created. And so it's going to come back. It's like on the down right now, you know, like it's not near as good as what it was. It needs another flood. But so I think it's the lake. So either way, like for my state, because I've had some people like, why are they showing the lakes? They're just the lakes are getting destroyed. I'm like, hey, at least they're trying something. Like, you know, I want them to try something. We'll see in a few years, 10, 15 years if it matters.
Right. And so Kevin Thornton asked, Tony, what is your opinion on the lunker program? I'm going to say it like this. I think anytime you're studying a species, whether it be collecting the largest of the species, whatever, you're more apt to find better for that species than just pretending like it doesn't exist or that we shouldn't be doing something like that. And that's my opinion. I think Alabama said that to try to shock and awe with them. I think that anytime somebody's willing to put money into bettering the fishery, whether it be, like I said, think about how many times somebody goes out and they've caught a 10-pounder or whatever, and it used to get mounted on the wall. Well, now they're taking it and they're going, hey, take this 10-pounder and use it to have more 10-pounders. If we're trying to do that, whether it's working or not, if we're trying to do that, I think we're doing better than nothing.
Well, and no, 100%. You said it more specifically than what I just said. Basically, I just but it goes back to like the deer fences too. Like they're getting all these genetic and creating these crazy deer. We're just trying to do it for bass, but we can't control them because they're in the water.
Yeah, it really. I'll say it really pissed me off when Alabama came, because I wrote them just like everybody else did, trying to do away with that. I tried to make where that didn't happen with that slot limit, but it really ticked me off for them to say that, because like y'all aren't. I'm not going to say they're not doing anything because I don't want to put them in a box like that, but don't start crapping on somebody else's try when your try don't look as good as their try does. I guess is what I'm getting at. You know.
Yep.
Anyway, that's kind of where that's why I said it was a little devil's advocate, because I believe it at least is doing something, and something even if it's only optics, is better than nothing. All right. I'll get off that soapbox. All right. Eric wants to know one bait for the rest of your life. What is it? Color, trailer, weight, etc.
Wow. Wow.
It's the only one you're going to get to throw from now on.
That ain't cool. I mean, dude, I don't know. That's hard. One bait.
Dude, I think mine's changed like 6 times.
Here we go. Here you go. I'm gonna make some people mad, probably, or not make people mad. I mean, you should expect it. I'm gonna go a 1/4 ounce 3/0 hook. I'm gonna go 5-inch Sakamata shad and shad color.
There you go. I'm telling you, I think mine's changed. Like every time it gets asked, I'm going, man, but I really caught him last week on a jig or whatever. You know, it's like then I don't. I go out there and zero with the jig the next time. Like, well, I'm not throwing that for the rest of my life for sure. But I did see something cool. I know this is off topic, but Brazalo Custom Lures is actually come out with a new double bladed buzz bait. And man, that was my jam back in the day. So I cannot wait to get my hands on some double bladed buzz baits from them. Yeah. So let's see. All right, you just answered his second question. His follow-up question, that was, what's your favorite minnow? What's the first minnow that gets the call?
It depends on the day. It depends on the day. But Sakamata shads, I think, are probably, like, they're hard to get, but they're really good. Like, they are good. Freeloader's good. Depends on the season. Like, I like a baby Z2 in the winter. The mooch minnow has its place. The zoom wing fluke. But no, if I get one minnow unlimited, it's gonna be the Sakamata shad.
Do you think any of the and I say the word knockoff, not trying to be ugly to anybody, do you think any of the knockoffs do as good as a Sakamata, considering how hard they are to get?
No, the wing fluke catches them, but it's not a Sakamata shad.
No, I'll catch them on the wing fluke, but I don't. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've thrown the Sakamata a few times in other people's boats, but I've got some guys out in Texas that make some knockoff versions of them, and they do good. Because obviously, I don't know any better because I don't throw the Sakamata that much. So, and then Kim Pruitt says, as a former table rock guy, you have to experience chasing herring eaters on Lanier. If there was a 64-volt trolling motor, I would buy it. Great YouTube channel.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Ken's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. And then Patricia Leanne Shaw says Larry Nixon done caught all them bass in Arkansas. So
one of my partners is very good friends with Larry, and he actually put up today. If y'all want to go try to get a Larry Nixon autographed jersey, go to Facebook, BJ Stump Removal. He's doing a free giveaway for a Larry Nixon autographed jersey. Go check it out, because like there's some stuff to try to get it.
Gotcha, for sure. Ken wants to know, is the Garmin 1242 with the dial a good unit?
He might have came in later and didn't hear the whole deal. So that's what's on my personal boat I own.
And that's the one you like. You said that was a really good unit.
Yeah, I love that unit. I think that's the best live scope unit probably. Now I like the 8000 series, but that 1242 is my favorite.
Gotcha. And then he had another question: the Koike dice baits on the Core Wacky Shot ? Have you tried that?
Oh yeah. Am I good right now? Yeah. Okay, man. I was doing that 2-3 years ago, and I kind of put it in the box of a bedfish bait, and now we've learned you can catch them other times of the year with it. It's not the best on the Wacky Shot hook. We've learned you do miss fish, lose fish. We're trying to figure that out. Johnny's got a new one. I have it rigged on a scamper rig right now. Like I do, like scamper rig. So, and a lot of the stuff of us missing fish, it's not even the hook. It's just how they don't swallow it. Like it's like them fish hit the tentacles with their mouths and they just stop and they're like, and they spit it out.
Gotcha. Let's see. Cranking Yanking. We're going to put his comment up here. I need to try and turn the screen off. What needs to happen? Scope, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know. And then it's a tradition question.
Hey, like when I see stuff like that, like that's cool, but like just go ride a horse to work or take your phone off, like I mean, have all this technology. Like, I mean,
he's a good sport with it. He gives us a ration sometimes, but he's out there at Caddo or Cato, however you say it. So
time out. Yeah, Caddo. I don't gotta have it at Caddo. You can put me in a dang kayak at Caddo for all I care. That lake is phenomenal. Like, dude, that lake. Like, I'll go to Caddo with a freaking aluminum boat and a hand-powered trolling motor. Let's go. That place is phenomenal. I'm jealous. Like, I love that lake. I love it.
I heard you mention Caddo in one of your videos here recently. I was watching. You said something. I don't know if it was the river or what you were talking about, but you said Caddo, and I thought, well, he's going to be on tonight. And maybe Cranking Yanking will join us, and y'all have it to talk about.
Yeah, Caddo's so cool. I love Caddo. I'd rather be there than Kentucky Lake. Like, no.
Let's see here. War Eagle the Best says weigh-ins and banging bass in a live well all day long destroy a lot of trophy bass because of mortality rate. And I won't disagree with you there. I mean, we've talked about, and we've had, everybody's talked about, the delayed mortality thing. I mean, we really haven't studied it, but the problem is, and I'm going to get back on the soapbox. When Alabama tried to do the slot limit, they were trying to block out a certain size bass. Basically, you would go, lakes would having 20-pound bags down to having 10-pound bags because the slot would cover so many fish. And they were saying mortality rate, but they were going to make it for tournament fishermen only, that slot limit. So if you wanted to go out there and catch your fish and eat them, you could. You just couldn't weigh them in at a tournament. So
nah, that's wrong. It needs to be for everybody, not just tournament.
yeah. And I mean, I'm not totally against, catch, weigh, release type stuff, but then you got to police that and things like that on, it becomes hard to do for your smaller tournaments. It's getting better,
but I do agree with, like, we've talked about guys in Arkansas, like our Lake Hamilton right now. It's went downhill in the last 6 months. And there's a lot of thoughts to that, but I really think that, like, the game and fishes of each state need to find a way to get a number and have that many tournaments on the lake. And because the tournaments are, I believe, hurting our fisheries in the long haul. Like, definitely in the summer. Like, in my night guys, I used to night fish. I mean, I brought in bags at night tournaments. We're killing fish. We just need to go ahead and have a fish fry.
Right.
And I know guys like, oh, I iced my fish. I did too, but they're dying. Like, I just know that. They're not making it. But I think fish, like, not even like y'all's lakes. I don't know y'all's stuff, but, like, I'm talking where I'm at. Like, I see and hear about Grand Lake and how many tournaments are there. And it is mind-blowing. And then, like, I look at my lakes around here. So I do think that's something down the road that needs to be done, is implementing how many tournaments we're going to let be on a body of water. And then, but policing that's hard, but just is what it is.
Well, and then I immediately, when you said that, I'm like, yeah, I agree. And then I start thinking about, I know at least here, it almost turns into like the alcohol license here. Somebody goes in with enough money, they buy all the dang permits, and then a regular guy can't host a tournament because he can't afford to buy the permit for it. So it turns into one. I don't know. I think you're right, because some of the lakes I fish out around here, you're not getting to the boat ramp on a Saturday, especially when it warms up, because everybody's throwing a tournament, and then it turns into Sundays and now Thursdays and stuff like that. So that'd be my only complaint with that, would be it would turn into a rich man sport for real, even the tournament portion of it.
Hey, one more question. My phone is going to die probably like 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, we'll call it. We'll call it, man. You want to take a couple more questions real quick, or you want to let
take one more?
All right, one more. All right, so let's see if we got. All right, guys, if you got a question, come on with it. All right, so here we go. This is the War Eagle the Best. What top 3 lakes do you suggest to visit from Georgia to Arkansas for bass fishing?
Dude, that's hard. Gunnersville. We got to go to Gunnersville, right?
Yep.
Dale Hollow. Dale Hollow be one. I'm thinking maybe what I want to do. Like,
there you go. That's fine.
That's what I want to do. Gunnersville, Dale Hollow. Y'all have Hartwell, you named. What am I missing? Name some other cool lakes. What am I missing? Like, Gunnersville and Dale Hollow are 2.
We got Lanier. You got
Lanier. I want to go to Lanier. Yeah, Lanier.
You want to go Lanier?
I want to go Lanier.
Good deal. You need to get to Lanier. Seriously, come out here one day. We'll get you on the water for sure. We'll get you with one of these guys, one of these Lanier hammers, and let you go experience that one for sure. It's fun, man. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by with us and hang out for as long as you did, and working through all the internet issues and stuff. I'll shoot you a text message later, man. Dude, I appreciate the heck out of it, guys. Thanks for stopping by, watching the show, and giving the questions and stuff. And for anybody that doesn't know, real quick, last thing, where can they find you at? How do they find you on social media?
Yeah, so I have my YouTube channel, The Fishing Coach. My Facebook page is Jimi Easterling Fishing Coach. Instagram, TikTok's the same thing. My channel is, an educational bass fishing channel, offshore emphasis, and now like really live scope emphasis too. I do have some occasional normal fishing stuff though. I do. And you check my social media, I'm about posting every day. So
there you go. Well, Ben, I appreciate it. Get back on the road. Get to where you got to go. Thanks for stopping by, man, and have a good evening. Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
It. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, guys, we hung in there for a good bit there. We at least got to have him for a little bit of time there, and got to ask him a bunch of good questions. Really cool dude. I'll be honest with you. I reached out to him to get him on the show, and he immediately called me back. I actually ignored his phone call the first time it came through. I was like, I don't know anybody from Arkansas. And he messaged me right away. He's like, hey, man, I want to be on the show. So I really appreciate him stopping what he was doing, traveling, from Arkansas out to Tennessee to do the thing, and actually coming on the show. Guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by more than you know. Y'all don't know what it means to have the comments and have the folks watching. that watch the regular shows during the week and then watch mine on Monday nights. And I appreciate it. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys on the show as well. So we're going to call it a night. We had him for an hour, almost an hour and 40 minutes anyway. We're going to call it a night. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Make sure you check out tomorrow night. I don't really know who's on the show tomorrow night, though. Got Danny and the guys. And then the rest of the week, I'm not sure about Wednesday yet with Alex, but he's got some big news coming. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Catch y'all next time. Have a good evening.